7 o'clock on the dot, and we're going to call the meeting to order. Let's rise and for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now, all right. Before I ask for a motion to approve the agenda, we have some changes. After board discussion of public comments, we need to have a discussion about the executive session that we had at our last meeting, so I'm going to put that in there. And after the consent agenda public comment on action item discussion, where we just have to complete reorg because it was outside the box, and we need to talk about the STC rep and the VSBA rep. So we'll do that then, and we have no need for executive session, so we can take our executive session off. Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda with those changes? Lenny?
Excuse me, yeah, I didn't hear the second part of it. I heard the executive session, and I'm sorry, I'm remote.
That's okay. Executive session discussion, completion of the reorg, because we skipped a couple of roles.
Okay.
And then we don't have an executive session tonight.
Okay,
Got
thank
it?
you.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, and is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Josh, second. All in favor? Oh, sorry, I didn't ask for discussion.
I was trying to find something before because I was wondering if I made it up in my head or something. I'm wondering if we need an executive session. There's a formal request for maternity extension.
Right, we're going to talk about that. We're going to have that, not tonight, because we
Okay.
didn't get it on the agenda. So
Okay.
we're not going to do it.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't think there's a time crunch on that, so we're going to leave it till our next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, though. Okay. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Abstain? All right. Public input and announcements. Do we have any public input? Hi, Ned. Anybody online? Okay. All right. Well, we have no discussion. We can discuss not having.
The online public at the moment that I'm trying to resolve.
Are they just not on, or?
Might not be able to ask to join. I'm trying.
Okay, well, if we're gonna move ahead, but we can go back. We can always
Would it help if
regress.
I logged in?
No.
Okay, let's see. All right. So, at our last meeting, we entered executive session for the purpose of discussing a personnel issue and a safety issue. While we made two separate motions for the purpose of entering executive session, we only made one motion to enter executive session for both of these items. It has been brought to my attention that we made a technical error in that we should have entered executive session for each item, then come out, taken action, and gone back in. So, according to our lawyer, this technical error can be corrected by the board affirming that there were two separate executive session discussions, motions, and actions. Therefore, I'm asking the board to affirm our previous action to enter executive session for two purposes, and that separate motions and actions were voted upon. And I think is there anybody who doesn't, I don't know if we need a motion. This is where's Rich? He's our Robert's Rules guy. Do you?
I mean, I think we should make a motion.
Motion to affirm that we did, in fact, have two motions and 2 actions, even though we didn't split them up. Okay. Would you like to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay, a motion to affirm. Ned, second. Okay. All in favor?
Discussion first.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, discussion, go ahead. Yeah, I'm bad at that, go.
No, I just think we need to be careful going down the road when we deal with executive sessions that we
Uh-oh, Lenny.
okay, sorry. That we make sure that we're doing our due diligence, because in some instances, what happens in executive session or what is brought to executive session could be kind of testy stuff. And if it's not reflected in how we play it out, I think that's an issue. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely. I, at that point, had no idea that we had to go in and out, in and out. Now we know, and so we won't make that mistake again. But other than that, the way we did our executive session, our motion was all cool. It was all kosher. So, okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Let's see, you're gonna abstain, right? So I'll vote, so we have enough. Okay, I don't know how many that is. That
Is
should,
Sarah with Gray?
Sarah, Gray, is Sarah with you? There you are. Are you voting to affirm our actions
I
at
am,
the last
yes.
meeting? Okay,
Sorry.
so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1
Abstaining.
abstain.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right, so now we'll do approval of the minutes from 3/4/26.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
I have under appointment representatives to committees for negotiations. I think, instead of Dave, that should be Kim there, because I think
Yes.
that's what the consensus was at the end of
Yes.
that.
yeah. I was looking at some other stuff. Files. Okay, I gotta go in here.
I think Len raised his hand.
Go ahead, Lynn, sorry.
No, you're fine. I guess it's more a question than anything. When we take a vote and it's done by paper ballot, then how do the names of who voted for and against appear in the public minutes? I think that sort of defeats the purpose of having a ballot.
Right. Yeah, so we would like to, where is that?
Well, it's in a couple of places. It's the executive, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that,
It's at the end of security measures, when it talks about 5 yes, and it names the people,
Yeah,
and then there's also one,
that was a public vote, so that one is okay.
no.
I'm sorry.
They're not a public, if it's unanimous, it's unanimous. If all in favor, it's all in favor. But at one point, it states who voted, board reorganization, nomination, election of officers. None of those names should be noted and who they voted for.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think
So-
your first
You
one,
should, it's round.
Yeah, no, especially for, yeah, we did paper ballots for that, right?
Yeah.
So it just should be
Yeah.
three for Josh, 1 for, and it shouldn't be who voted. So we can,
So my question is, who found out who voted for and against and was able to publish them in the public notice. That's not okay. I have an issue with that, a big time issue. Jeez.
Okay.
Can I just say
Yeah,
something?
can you respond?
Yes. I am not sure. I didn't catch that in the minutes. I will look into that and I will get back to you. Because I don't understand how we would know because it was paper ballots.
Right.
So I'm concerned that that was a
Misunderstanding.
misunderstanding and perhaps that was the vote for something later. But let me look into it and I will get back to you, Len, and to everyone else.
So in the meantime,
No, I'm not done yet.
oh,
Because this really bothers me. This is one of, I mean, we screwed up on the executive session last time, and now these minutes are reflecting who votes for what in a, I don't want to call it a secret ballot, that sounds too spooky, but in a private ballot, and the names come out and are put out there.
so,
No, wait. We need to, this board needs to take better care of our job, because based on those two huge things, because we're gonna have to change the minutes in the executive session part, because it only reflects one, as you said,
yep,
but you're still gonna need to change the minutes.
right.
Those are not small things, and that community that approved our budget by 44 votes, maybe they're looking for more and from more reliability from us.
So,
Thank you.
Lenny, I'm gonna respond. We checked with our lawyer about the executive session situation, and it was a technical error, and, you know, I mean, we won't do it again. That's
It
the
needs
best
to
we
be
can do.
changed in the minutes, is all
All
I'm
right,
saying.
well, that's where we're at right now. So what I'm
Yeah.
suggesting
And
for
that's why I'm
changing the
saying it needs to be
minutes
changed in the minutes.
is,
It's wrong in the
Shawnee,
minutes,
if you
because it
could,
doesn't reflect
if you
the
could
first
put
call.
Josh Squire nominated Carol Geary for board chair. Len seconded it. All in favor. Then Rich Clark nominated.
No, I'm talking about
Kim
executive
Williams.
session when we went.
All right, but I'm trying to take care of your first concern about the votes. Rich Clark nominated Kim Williams for vice chair. Kim Williams nominated Josh Squire for vice chair. 3 for Josh.
I think it was more.
And then take out Kim, Len, and Matt, who voted. Just take out the names of who voted in the rest of
Correct.
that. Okay? So that's the first change. And then
It's not.
at the end, under 13 executive session, it should read what the motion was. So Kim made a motion to go into executive session, and we have to take it right off the, which I have right here.
And I've got it too.
Yeah. And what we're gonna do from now on is when we do the agenda, we're gonna put that exact language right on the agenda. So, let's see.
Statute 313A10.
Yeah, security or emergency response measures if disclosed, could jeopardize public safety. So that's what's gonna say there. Kim made a motion not to accept the security measure, but to go into executive session for security or emergency response measures. And then, and I got, actually, I watched the video to get it. And then, Rich made a motion to go into executive session for labor relations, where there is substantial disadvantage for the board and individual. And Josh seconded that.
So that's gonna be added to the minutes.
Yes,
One
and
correction,
then,
adding the superintendent.
yes, and then, who made the motion to go in? Who made the motion to go into the executive? Yeah. So we basically had three motions. One for the, safety issue, one for the personnel issue, and then one to actually go into executive session. We should have had two. And I had Kim and Josh for the security emergency response. I had Rich and Josh for the labor relations one. But I failed to figure out who made the motion to go into executive session, so.
It's recorded on TV, so.
It's on TV, so we'll get it, and we'll add that. That'll be the third, and then you have the rest.
Okay?
Okay?
Not-
Are you good now? Lynn, is that
No,
good
I'm not
enough?
done yet. I'm sorry.
Huh?
At the end, in the minutes,
Yeah.
under, when we came out of executive session, it said, all in favor, 5 yes, 2 no.
Yeah.
Again, that should not be there. It should be 5 versus 2. That's all. It doesn't need people's names.
I'm gonna follow up on that, because I think you do put how people voted.
Not unless you're doing a roll call vote. If you do a roll call vote, then yeah. Then we all raise our hand yes or no, and it goes in the record.
Well, I
But
think that's what we did.
that wasn't a roll call vote. It was just a vote. 5 against, 2 for, or 5 for, 2 against, it passes. End of story. I'm having an issue with putting individuals' names in the public record as to how they vote, whether it's for or against a particular thing.
Okay.
And
So I'd like to hear from other board members. I don't know what, to me, yes, you vote, if it's unanimous, you don't put the names.
nope.
But if
And if it's not unanimous, it's 5-2, 6-4, whatever the numbers are. You know, one side wins, one side loses. Unless you call for a roll call vote, there should be no names of individual board members and how they voted. If you want to make sure everybody's name's in there, who voted for and who's for and who's against, then you call for a roll call vote right from the beginning.
Okay,
Yeah.
He is right, we did a voice vote.
we did a voice vote.
We did a voice vote, which means that we're just deciding the ayes versus the nays,
Okay,
as opposed to calling for a division vote.
okay,
But it's not a roll call vote. Nobody called for a
Gotcha.
roll call vote.
Right.
gotcha.
In the past, during contentious votes, we have said a roll call vote.
Okay,
So.
Okay.
That is, we have differentiated it in the past.
I am learning
We haven't done
something
it.
new every day.
We've done it maybe a few times.
Okay,
I just quickly looked up the bylaws from VSBA, and so it does say, if we're doing voting by voice, the minutes of the meeting shall reflect the method and result of all votes. No vote shall be taken by secret or written ballot. So it's a little, I think reflect the method. So if it's by voice, it's not having names included, is
Okay.
how I'm interpreting that.
Okay, and that's fine. So you're gonna take out all the names in that section, okay? Perfect. All right, we're getting
I have
there.
a correction to the minutes.
Yep, go ahead,
It
Nick.
says I was
Thank you.
superintendent, and I was not.
Oh, okay.
and easy.
So Ned Ulrich was not in attendance at the last meeting. I guess I have a little bird walk to take on this. If a member watches the YouTube video, even though they didn't attend the meeting, can they vote to approve minutes or approve?
I think you can vote on whatever you want. You can you're making, I vote all the time on minutes that I wasn't a part of. You can just choose not to.
Okay,
And I think that's fine.
all right. Okay. That's fine. All right.
Yeah, I have a quick comment to make, if I might.
And then I'm going to call the question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think that I hear exactly what Lenny is saying from like a procedural point of view. From my own personal point of view, I'm quite happy to have my name associated with any vote I take on any issue before the school board. However, in trying to follow the letter of the law, which is important, maybe we should just make it a practice to do a roll call vote, because then there's no question about names being attached to it. Our names ought to be attached to our votes. We're elected representatives. We ought to be able to answer to our towns for the various votes that we make on various issues. So if the way to do that legitimately is to have a roll call vote, then I say we do it that way. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Okay, so what I'm
agree.
thinking is if it's unanimous, we don't do a roll call vote. But if it's not unanimous, then we'll do a roll call vote.
Well, shouldn't we
That makes sense to me, because if it's unanimous, then the implication is everybody voted.
Yes. Go ahead. Rick.
I think, I mean, as chair, you can call for a vote, and any member has the option to request the roll call vote.
Oh, okay.
And so if Gray wants, or anybody wants to request it at any point, I think that is their right.
Okay.
Without that, you are running the meeting and you have the right to call for a voice vote.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we should update our bylaws to reflect whatever consensus we come up with here, so that we can then reference it. So under our voting bylaws, it could be helpful to have it written out.
Okay. And those will come to the full board to review, so, okay, put that on the list. Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes with the changes?
Is it a voice vote?
Well, let's see.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yays and 1 abstention.
You can note that I abstained by name, because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't think that's part of it. I think we do put who abstains, but we'll get better on that. I mean, we just haven't had that kind of questioning before, so. Okay, those are the minutes. All right, Summer, where are you?
Yay!
Welcome, Summer.
We're so excited, Summer.
Hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. Sorry that you can't see.
You're up.
All right. So, welcome. I have a little presentation for you. So I thought that, well, I have a lot to share with you about Clarendon, but I thought it would be nice to have the kids share a little bit first. So I have a little video. And let's hope it works, right? Why do you love Clarendon?
Because the people here are kind.
Lucas, what word would you use to describe Clarendon?
A good school.
Stella, what's your favorite thing about Clarendon?
That we have a nice school to play with and friends.
Jace, what do you love about Clarendon?
There's a lot of super cool teachers.
What's your favorite thing about Clarendon?
Mrs. Stoops.
What's the best thing about Clarendon?
That we get to go outside.
Lincoln, what do you love about Clarendon?
That I got to came here.
Evie, what's a word that describes Clarendon?
Amazing.
Alina, what's the best thing about Clarendon School?
Doing tons of crafts and having fun.
Ian, what's your favorite part about Clarendon?
I get to go outside to recess.
Avery, what's your favorite thing about Clarendon?
That everybody's so nice and kind, and it's the best.
Bennett, what's something that makes Clarendon special?
That we have the kindest children.
Bryce, what's the best thing that happens here at Clarendon?
Is that if you screw up one day, the next day's a different day.
Ayla, what's something you love about Clarendon?
The teachers.
Gracie, what's one word that describes Clarendon?
A safe place.
Chris, what's your favorite part about Clarendon?
How respectful the teachers are.
Levi, what's your favorite thing about Clarendon?
Choice time.
Kelsey, what do you think of when you think of Clarendon?
A kind and safe environment.
Olivia, what's one word that describes Clarendon?
Kind.
Alexa, describe Clarendon in one word.
Helpful.
Okay.
Nice.
I said it right.
Yeah. Thank you, Summer.
I'm
gonna.
I'm starting here with my goal for the year, and my school goal was to evaluate the effectiveness of instruction by conducting frequent formal and informal observations while providing timely feedback on instruction and student learning. So if you remember last year, it was my first year, and I talked about how important it was to me to be in the classrooms, to know what was going on, and that's still very, very important to me. I do feel that I started the year out really well doing that, and little cards that I give to the teachers after I go into the classroom. The last 3 months, I have been teaching first grade 3 days a week and principaling 2 days a week. So I have not had as much time to go into the classrooms. I've had very little time to go into the classrooms at this point. It's been very busy. But next week is my last week of teaching. So I plan to get back into the classrooms. And today actually I had a little time and I spent about a half an hour in the 5th grade classroom, which was really nice because I haven't been able to do that in a long time. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that. All right, so I have some data to share. So the STAR 360 literacy data. So my CMP goal was that by June of 2026, 55% of CES learners in grades K through 6 would have demonstrated a score of proficient or higher on the STAR 360 early literacy and reading assessment in the winter or spring. So at this point, the STAR reading, we are at 48.6% of students that have met or are above the target. And for early literacy, we have 50% of the students. I feel like we are on track. And I also feel last year, being my first year, that I had some pretty lofty goals. And I think, I really had really high hopes, and our teachers are working super hard, but I may have kind of gone a little higher than I should have, realistically. You live in it, right? Okay, so our STAR 360 math, the goal was that by June we would be 50% of the students would be proficient or above, and we are at 36.8% of students. So that is something that we are working really hard on. I've had really great conversations with the teachers about what we can do to raise these scores. We've talked about how our curriculum doesn't exactly match up with the questions that are on the STAR. 360. So sometimes the kids are not being taught what is being tested. And we've had a big push this year to work on fluency. And so they've been doing that also, but we're just hoping that our scores will continue to climb.
Summer?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to clarify, that 36.8 is a winter score.
That is based on the winter score, yes, the
Correct.
scores that we just had, correct. All right, so another goal that I had was for attendance, that by June, our data for chronic absenteeism would decrease from 20.9% to 15%. We actually are at 11.8% now, which is really great. Our average daily attendance is 93.7%. We have 3 students in K through 6 who are chronically absent. And one of those students, I had a meeting that started out really tough and ended up going really well. And that student, who had missed so much school and would come in at like 11 o'clock every morning, since January has not missed a day of school, and today was actually her first day coming in late, and she was only like a half an hour late, so that was really great. And then we have 3 students in the pre-K program, but pre-K is not mandatory, so it does skew our data a little bit, but so I feel like it's really just 3, and then our numbers are even lower. We had our 5th and 6th grade teams did attendance wars for the first half of the year, and they kept track of attendance every day, and then 6th grade won the attendance war, so they got a celebration in December, but it was a really good way to get the kids to want to be here. And usually it's the older kids that kind of fight coming to school a little bit more, so it was really good incentive for them to come in. All right, behavior. Last year, when I talked to you guys, I talked about the non-negotiables that we put into place. So we have non-negotiable forms, and then we have our behavior forms. And the non-negotiables is just something that I made up last year. So it's hands-on, inappropriate language or disrespectful language, like swearing, or even just, saying, no, I'm not going to do that, or something like that. And then leaving the classroom. So the non-negotiables, the first one that is sent home, there's a form that we have that we send home, circle which place they fell in here. The teacher writes a little blurb, the parent signs it and sends it back. If it happens a second time, I call the parent, and if it happens a third time, we set up a meeting with the parent and the student, but we usually, that's if it happens within a few months. So if someone gets a non-negotiable in October and then one in March, I'm not calling the parents that time. We have had 25 students at this point receive non-negotiable slips, and last year at this time we had 97. So really great. And then our major behavioral referrals, we've had 25 major behavior write-ups, and at last year at this time we had 67. So really great progress with that too. And I think we feel it here. We feel the teachers are feeling less stressed, and the kids are really taking ownership for their behavior, which is really nice. All right, learning in the classroom. So I just put some pictures up here to show some of the things that we're doing. So Mrs. Reynolds here, whoops. She is teaching a Changing Perspectives curriculum this year, which is a social emotional curriculum. And she goes into each classroom once a week for 30 minutes. And here she was doing a team building activity with the 5th grade class. It's a really great way that we have common language throughout the building. And the teachers, it's not really like an extra special. The teachers stay in the classroom, so they're learning the language, and then it's similar all through the school. These are a couple of our 3rd graders. They're playing a fact fluency game to work on their fluency, or their math fluency with multiplication, which is a really big thing that we're pushing this year. These are our 6th graders here. Miss Pritchard has a little stage in her room, and the kids do a lot of presenting. They were comparing different Goldilocks stories, and they had to go up and they had to make their case for what they thought was right. And they did it they do it for the entire class, and they always invite other staff members in. So I just think it's a really great way to have the kids practice public speaking, which I should, because I get really nervous, if you can't tell. Okay, we have some third graders here with fact fluency flashcards, and then we have a couple of my right now first graders, and this is our shared reading block, and we have, first we meet together and we read, and then they go off and they read in partners. And then I have one of our amazing paraeducators here working with our students during shared reading, and then this is one of our cute little preschoolers who is working with Sarah Williams in our Stepping Stones program, and she's also working on a social emotional curriculum. All right, just some family events that we've had this year. So we started the year this year with a back to school picnic, which was really great. We had we had face painting and bounce houses and big barbecue. We had a DJ. It was a really great way to get all of the families here. We did it the Monday before school started. It was very fun. PBIS assemblies, we have our character traits that we learn about each month, and then we have an assembly at the end of the month, and each grade level has a turn to present at that assembly, and we do invite parents to the assemblies. Usually the parents come for the class that is presenting that month. I know parent-teacher conferences are a have-to, but I wanted to say that we had 99% attendance, which was really great.
That's really good.
We had a trunk or treat and parade, our family Thanksgiving dinner where we invite the community in to have lunch with us. We have our music concerts, the winter and the spring. A Memorial Day observance, we invite families in and we do a presentation. Each one of the classes has a little piece of it where they practice something and then share it with the group. We have our end of the year family barbecue and our pre-K graduation and family celebration, and then our 6th grade graduation.
What is, forgive me if I'm the only one who doesn't know, PBIS?
Oh, it's a positive behavior incentive system. So we have marbles that we have small jars, mason jars in the classroom, and the kids earn marbles and put them in. And then when they fill their marble jar, they come down to the big jar that we have in the main entryway, and they get ping pong balls, and each one of the kids puts a ping pong ball in. And when that gets to a certain point, we have a whole school celebration. And they do classroom celebrations when they fill their jar. So it could look like wearing pajamas to school, or an extra recess, or the kids vote on it and pick what they would like to do.
I was just curious what Mrs. Reynolds' role is. You said
she's the counselor.
The counselor.
Yes.
And part-time,
No,
right?
she's full-time.
She's full-time.
Yes, she is full-time. We have a full-time counselor. And I think that there might have been a time a while back where she did a social emotional curriculum, but I thought it was really important that we brought it back this year. So, and the kids love it.
I noticed a significant drop in behavior challenges, if you will. Could you quickly speak to maybe what interventions are working and what might have caused that significant improvement?
Well, I think so. Prior to last year, there were even more, and then last year I felt like, wow, we've had a huge drop, and so now I look at the data for this year and it's even more. But I think we were just really consistent, and we started the year off last year with our whole school assembly, and I explained what a non-negotiable was, and the kids don't want letters to go home, and they don't want phone calls to parents. And I mean, we have kindergartners saying that's a non-negotiable. They all know we use the same language, and I think that they just understand. And I'm really involved in the discipline. It's been a little different the last few months, but like I am very involved in it, so I think that's really helpful too.
Thanks.
So one of your goals was for math test scores, and and I'm not a person who really cares that much about test scores, just to the question asked. And one of the things that I'm afraid of is like just specifically teaching to exactly the test.
Right.
But really the question that I have is, the curriculum that we have, how many of each grade, I'm sure it's different, but like how often do you actually even finish the curriculum by the end of the school year? Never, right?
Right.
So, and obviously, I don't think you can solve this problem. I don't know if as a district we can solve this problem, but why does the curriculum exist in the way that it does if every single class in every single one of our schools never gets to the end of the curriculum? Like, what does that mean about the curriculum as a whole? Like, and I'm outside of that, but it just seems like there's something that is not in line. And I have no idea what it is. I don't have a solution to it, but I don't know if you have a thought about that or anything.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we don't have the time, even if we're teaching one lesson a day, we don't have the time. There are things that come up, assemblies or field trips or whatever it is, right, that take time away from that also. We also devote a lot of time to our literacy program. So that's another piece of it. I also think, like, when we look at that score, we're looking at one text. We're not looking at what they're performing in the classroom on their tests for the end of the year module, or just like their everyday work that they're doing in their journals independently. We're not looking at that. We're looking at that one score, So I think that if we were looking at multiple measures, we would see that our kids are doing better, performing better than that, but we're just looking at that one test score. And I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question for you, because I think it's always been an issue, As long as I was a teacher, it was an issue. You just do the best that you can.
And I would put in there, I believe the reason it's that way is when you get a curriculum, we also want teachers to have autonomy, right? So they're not going to do 100% of it, but if we're 80-90%, then that's a good number. But I also think it goes further because it can differentiate for students who maybe are in that grade level but are at the higher achieving ends, right? So we're kind of all ends of it. But it is something that's always frustrated me too. As a former history teacher, and I'd be like, years ago, they'd say, here's the book, start at the beginning and end up today. And it was world history. Yeah, that's not happening in any...
Yeah, and we do have teams of teachers that meet and look at the curriculum and, whittle it down a little bit.
Yep.
Like, these lessons might not be the most important, so we pull them out, but it's still a lot of content to fit in.
So at least once a year, we have curriculum maps for every single grade level that the teachers have put together. And at least once a year, they meet again on those curriculum maps and say, okay, this is working, this is not working. Then they meet with the grades above and below them and say, is there anything that we're not getting to that's really affecting a previous grade where we're having a skill gap? And we also have done a lot of work to align the assessments from our major programs to our performance indicators, and we have all of that. You can actually see it all on the curriculum website.
Really just secretly just wanted to have a discussion about it and hear what your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you, Summer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Summer.
Okay. Addie, how are you?
Good, I'm good. So I wanted to start out by reintroducing myself with the recent elections, but I think everybody knows who I am. So I'll get right into it. I'm gonna start with some positives about school culture that I felt have been effective and encouraging. So on a sports level, we are finishing the winter season, and I have tried a new sport this year, rock climbing. I know Mr. Ruck knows what I'm talking about, and that was very successful. We went to states, and the high school team got overall third, and the middle school team got overall second place, and I know Eliza Ruck got top female climber at the middle school. So that's very encouraging to our sports programs, and I thought that was a really good, encouraging experience to have for the first time for myself. As well as spring sports will be starting up soon, especially in more social aspects. The winter pep rally was very successful and the athletes felt it was fun and appreciative of their work. And so Tri-M, which is the organization planning the spring pep rally, will try to continue that growth and excitement into the spring season. On a different note, for our music program, Bistro is a big performance coming up. That is a showcase of our honors vocal ensembles to show their hard work, dedication, and talent. It's coming up on the 28th, and overall that's just a very good achievement for our successful music program. On switching to a more fundraising and service level, there has been continuous fundraising throughout the year that are bringing classes together and helping our environment. For example, the 10th grade on May 17th is having a car show at Mill River, and if there's possibilities for everyone to be in the car show and helping or contributing in any way. If you have any questions, I know BJ, he was here somewhere. He has details because he is one of our class advisors. And so that's very good and encouraging in the atmosphere of our 10th grade class and bonding us together by trying to fundraise for our future and for our class and us working together as a collective large class than just some select organizations. So I thought it was a very good thing. Switching over to some more like logistical and important details. The student survey was reached out that Ms. Gonzalez had, and I know in my advisory, which is how the avenue was to answer this survey, it was answered in my advisory, and I assume in others as well. The survey sparked many conversations throughout in the advisory and through people to talk about what they wanted to see and what they noticed. So this I'm gonna give some examples of what I've listened to, what I've heard, and seen. Students would love to continue accountability for all students and more progressing towards that. Public recognition for student achievement and service. There's many students throughout the school who are continuously putting in a lot of effort to benefit the school and do whatever they can for fun, and also sports and more different aspects of everything that we felt students and my advisory and more people have felt good recognition publicly would be nice and good for the community. They also talked about more support for our hardworking, driven students who are actively pursuing goals and want to do well. Meaning the students in the school who are actively searching and wanting to do well and progress could use a little more support and recognition and support from our. I feel like teachers are mostly good, but there's still some aspects, and also the guidance programs, and just overall some more support for the people who are really trying to better the school and better themselves, and just continuing in that sense. And then, of course, students also express wanting to continue support for our students who need extra help and to meet our educational goals and standards. So just continuing to give all of our resources for everyone to be successful in what they can do. So just continued progression in what we would love for students to be able to have as support and needs. That's all I have for that. Continuing, me and Ms. Geary have wanted to talk about more student representation, future steps, and I'm very thankful for you meeting with me. So we have a list of 5 steps that we have put together to possibly move forward in this. For the first one, we would love to meet with student council and student leadership team, which are big groups within the school that are specifically focused on leadership and helping the school environment. So we would love to reach out to them, which I have done, as a part of the recruitment process for a possible second student representative, who I'm assuming would counter me within the meetings. We would prefer a current freshman or junior, so because I'm a sophomore, I'll be a junior next year, so it'll be a different grade level than me. And so I have some information on that. Student council meets on Thursdays during flex period, which is a period in school. Their next meeting is the 26th during flex period, and I can give you those times if you need it. Which would be their next meeting if we would want to possibly move forward. And then for student leadership team, our next meeting is on April 1st on Wednesday, so that's a Wednesday after school, which would be where we could talk to them about future steps. When we do that, our next step would be considering teacher nominations for our ideas and application for this, which is step 3, develop an application and selection process for the new representative and adding a role description to the bylaws. Then we would explore the possibility of earning 1 civics credit or elective credit for serving as the student representative. A civics credit is a part of the 26 required credits to graduate, and this would be a great avenue for our students to be able to earn that credit. And finally, adding the student representative to the mailing list for agendas and minutes, and consider a board mentor to work with the student representative to further their progression and have them have the avenues to help in any way they can. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Is rock climbing a club, still a club?
I believe so.
Yeah. Is it on a trajectory to become an actual a state sport?
So it is not recognized by the VPA as a sport. There are a couple different reasons for that, but we have strong feelings about equity, that through our MAC reimbursement grant and through Teresa's help from After School Funds, we are able to offer a scholarship so that it's never a financial barrier. And this year, our Clarendon support staff member Haley Elliott started a elementary team. They don't quite have enough kids to compete, so they've joined with my Middletown team that I coach for a Mill River Middletown elementary team, and we're all competing in the elementary level as well. And starting next year, we were able to find some grant funding through that MAC reimbursement grant so that there won't be a financial barrier there either.
Josh, a lot of schools do recognize it as a varsity sport, though. Otter Valley, it's a varsity sport. Burton, it's a varsity sport. So there is certainly recognition that it could be a varsity sport that some districts do choose to do.
I'm just glad that as long, because it's that, the ultimate and the climbing and the fishing, if that gets to take off, then like it's nice to just have different avenues. Because I knew by the time when I was a junior and senior in high school, I wanted different sports to play and they weren't available. So I really appreciate that they're out there.
Well, bass fishing is recognized by the VPA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely.
Sarah?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much, by the way. That I think it's a really great idea that you and your council move forward with trying to get some sort of credits for being a student representative, school credits. And not just for that, for other public service stuff, voter drives or participating in worthy civic duties. So good for you on that. I think you should definitely pursue it. I think it's a great idea.
I just wanted to let the board know if they hadn't seen it, that there is a lunchtime webinar on elevating student voices on the board. It's April 14th. You will probably get an invitation. They were looking for students to participate in that. I sent it to Addie, but I know she's got a lot going on, but I thought she'd be great. If you do sign up, even if you can't be there at the lunchtime, you will get a link and you can follow up. So if you're interested, especially if you might be interested in being the board mentor to the student reps, I recommend that you maybe check that out. So that came in one of our VSBA emails. And I want to thank Addie for taking time out of her flex to meet with me. Go ahead, Rich.
Can I ask, and I don't know if Addie knows this or Josh, a couple months ago you mentioned the introduction of a bill that was going to put or mandate student voting participation. Did that make it to crossover?
No, I don't think it did. I think it didn't make it out of the committee. But
I don't think it did either.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
Keep trying, Addie.
All right, all set? Okay, moving on. Okay, so the next item, we had sort of mentioned it, and that's the idea of using a consent agenda. So that's the first thing I wanted to see if anybody had feelings about it. So essentially, items that, we just like go through, like committee reports and the minutes, not tonight, but most nights it's just, we don't have a lot of corrections or any corrections. And the warrants that we go through. We can put that on a consent agenda and just approve that, and so all those items are automatically approved. If someone, the assumption is that you've had time to look at them ahead of time, so that's the key. But if you haven't had time to look at them, or there's something in one of the items that's under consent agenda that you want to discuss, we can just pull it out. It's not a set thing, but in some ways it'll streamline our meetings. So as a chair, I can set that up. I don't think we need a motion or anything. I might try it for a future agenda, maybe not the next agenda, where, we have the consent agenda item as part of the total agenda, and then we can see how it goes. I think it's just one of those things we have to try out, because I know they use it at several other school board meetings, so I thought it's something we can consider. I'm always trying. And then the other is public comment on action items. So right now, when we're voting on something, we really don't have the public comment. However, as board chair, I could allow that. And the way we would do it is before we vote and before we discuss, but after the motion is made and seconded, if there is a member of the public who wants to comment on that, and they are someone who has something they can add, and this includes, I know this, you're the one that made me think of this, Denise. 1 minute, a 1 minute comment, that, she was our treasurer, we were talking about financing, and really probably should have let her speak. But at the time, when you're sitting here, you go home and think about it. So I think I am going to allow myself that privilege of, if there's a, and you're all public, even though you work, you're not members of the board, but if someone has something that they want to add to the conversation before we start our discussion, 1 minute, a quick comment.
Carol, is it only before discussion?
Yes. Okay, yeah.
And are you to my mind, it's not slippery slope of.
It is.
A minute is not a lot of time.
Right.
And we're all very courteous and nice people.
Right.
And so if you're not, and then if you don't have a timer that does 1 minute for one person, but then the next person gets to talk, I don't see how that would be a fair use of it.
Right.
So I personally like how we do it, and we obviously ask people when if there's some, like we talk to Jody all the time, and Stan, and it encourages the meetings to not get overly long and overly discussive.
Right.
And so I'm not in favor of it, but if you, that's just my one stance of it. And if
Gotcha.
But that's not, but.
I mean, and we generally don't have public trying to, or, so, I just put it out there. It's an option that the board can take up.
And as long as, if you're going to do it,
we do use the timer.
Like that actually is
1 minute.
If you're saying they have a minute, then give them a minute, because it's really not fair if if it is, because it's on our every single, like 99.9% of the stuff that we're voting on, having someone make a 1 minute comment isn't going to be, it could be helpful. But if it's that 0.1% of the time where it's a divisive issue and it's more challenging.
Right. And really, if it's something like that, then that's why we have public comment, and they get 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I just, I know that it's, well, if Stan he's presenting essentially, so that's a different thing than a 1 minute comment. So, if he's presenting a contract or a,
but we do ask him, we ask him, we're talking about something else, and then we ask him is there clarifying? So, I mean, that might fall into this category where,
And I would love to see the chair have that latitude to get expertise opinion if it's available in the room, and it can enrich our discussion.
Right.
I would love the chair to have that.
I was about to ask if you have the authority already as chair to seek out public input if someone is here.
I think I do.
I think when we had the conversation previously, when it was brought up, just of how our public comment works, whether it falls under the rules correctly, I think that was one of the consensus that we led to, that it is the chair can request it, and then if I'm like I want to be done with it, I can call a vote for that
to
not occur.
To call a question at any moment.
Right.
Right. So I think that was where we landed on that during that discussion.
Yeah, I just, it's a new year, and I just felt like this was something we should discuss as a board, because I don't think we've ever discussed it. So I think previous to my being chair, we did have a situation where I sort of said, no, you can't talk. So I was just trying to clarify on that. Okay, so that was just discussion. Okay. Not on your agenda. Sarah has been our Stafford rep, and she is interested in not doing that. Do we have a volunteer?
I can't remember there's a meeting day is it a consistent meeting day?
It's 4 times a year, and it has been this year Monday morning, like an hour and 15 minutes. We go to Stafford. It's just, you need to go to the full board meeting. They do offer a virtual option that sometimes people take up.
I can do it, as long as, if no one else is interested, as long as it's on, I think Monday is the day that I could do.
Okay, so Josh has volunteered. Does anybody?
Wednesdays I can't.
Morning, though.
Wednesday mornings I can't do if it's on because usually I have a conflict on that.
As early as 8? Because it goes usually 8 to 9:15. And if you go, you get to eat good treats from the kids.
You get to eat them.
I'm sorry, I was distracted. What was it?
When it was Wednesdays on 8.
It's been this year. I don't know
but
how
it could
it's been
move
in the
around.
past. Yeah.
Still interested? How about, is anybody else interested before I because I was going to say, see if it works out. If
Yeah,
it doesn't,
that's
just
fine.
let us know.
Yeah.
And then we'll get
Yeah.
someone else
I
to do
wouldn't
it,
wanna
just so
commit
we
to it
have,
and then not be able to do it.
just so we have representation. Lenny, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just asking what the question is, I guess.
We're looking for a volunteer to be our school board representative to the Stafford Tech Center, is board.
You'd be on the full board.
You're on part of the full board.
I just wanted you to know that there are pastries there.
I do like pastries.
That's motivating.
Yeah.
Lenny, did that answer your question? You're on mute.
Yeah, no, but that's okay.
Oh, well, what, I guess I don't understand the question. Your question was our question. Okay. I'm not sure. He's not. He's muted, so I'm not sure what he.
Yeah, I will be glad to hold the position, and if I cannot attend the meetings, I will abdicate.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and then, bye. And then, Kim, you've been our VSBA rep. Would you be willing to continue in that role? Okay. All right. Took care of that. Okay, committee reports. Lenny, personnel?
Yep, getting there. Whoop. Okay, there we are. Yeah, we met tonight. First off, I'd like to present to the board, letter of employment for Executive Administrative Assistant 1.0 full-time equivalency for Shani Bazir.
Visor.
I make that motion.
Okay. Well, any discussion? Welcome, Shani. All in favor? Unanimous. Any nays? Abstentions? Okay. All right.
Secondly, I'd like to just let folks know that our next meeting is April 1st, April Fool's Day, at 6 o'clock. We met tonight as a board, as a committee, we reorganized, and so we decided that we would continue with the 6 o'clock on the second Wednesday before the board meeting. So our next committee meeting will be April 1st at 6 o'clock. And I asked the members of the committee to look at the changes in terms of the reorg. So that's where we're at.
Thank you, Len. Personnel, Rich.
Policy?
Policy, sorry. Policy, P.
Yes, so I'd like to move that we adopt for second read F39, the financial reports and statements, which we had discussed at a prior meeting.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Lenny, I don't see your hand, but I don't hear any no's, so, okay.
And also looking for a motion to rescind F15 student publications. This was second read as well.
You need a motion to rescind? I always forget.
I'll make that motion to rescind.
Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion?
I feel like we should, I know we've talked about this, but just to say, the reason we're rescinding this, it's not a required policy, and we have other similar policies, and this one actually made it kind of confusing with the other ones that are either required by VSBA or a little bit more clear. So we decided to rescind this.
Okay. All in favor? Okay.
Love to entertain a motion to adopt for first read policy F34, fiscal management and general financial accountability. This is a VSBA recommended policy. VSBA has it under F20, for those of you following at home. For first read. Take a motion.
Make that motion.
Okay. Any discussion?
Are there any changes?
To their policy?
Yeah.
No, we were adopting it as they had put forth.
And this also, these are the ones that Stan very kindly reviewed for us too.
Very important point.
Yeah.
All in favor?
We've reviewed and recommending for adoption for first read our policy F32, bloodborne pathogen policy, formerly named E9. Take a motion.
You can make that.
Ned made the motion. Okay. Oh, you made the motion, you're seconding? Wait a minute.
We don't,
They
yeah,
were racing for the motion.
Okay, we don't need a second, right?
right.
Okay, discussion.
I'll just say too, when we looked over this, Jody mentioned that this was part of the ongoing policy when they had, that's in operation. So we reviewed it. It hadn't been reviewed since 2016. So this is that policy. Yes.
If you don't mind.
Please.
I just double checked and we currently have an F32, which is transgender and gender nonconforming students.
Okay, that's great, because I had it as F34, but we had put it on the agenda as 32.
Okay.
It's
So-
34 in the documents, it's 34.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, good.
34 is also calling out fiscal management and general financial accountability.
And that's been moved.
Wait, so F34 is now
I'm sorry, 42.
fiscal management. So 42.
It was 42.
42.
I
Okay.
shouldn't have tried to remember it.
Sorry.
No, that's great. Good catch.
Thank you,
Okay.
Jody.
Okay, so can you review that one more
Yes,
time?
so let me restate it here. So the motion I'm requesting is the adoption of the F42 bloodborne pathogen policy, which was formerly E9 in our policies, which hadn't been reviewed since 2016.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm fixing it on
All
the
right,
draft
okay.
right now.
Thank you.
All in favor? Okay, unanimous.
Is this a first or a second?
And
That's a first.
that's first read as well, yes.
That's first.
First
yeah.
read.
Yes, and also for first read, then the rescinding of policy E4, risk management.
Okay,
Make that motion.
okay. Discussion.
Is there somewhere else that it exists now, or, you know, it's just not needed?
May I?
What's that?
May I?
Please.
Okay, so that was another one of the fiscal policies that we asked Stan to review. It is not under any of the VSBA policies. It was Stan's opinion that it is redundant because fiscal management is defined ad nauseum in our insurance policies. And there was history about 5 years ago in the past where the policy of risk management caused some confusion about what that means. And so we thought it might just be clearer to let all of our risk management procedure and policy live in our insurance documents.
Well said.
So it's more of a procedure rather than a policy, the risk management. Okay, that makes sense.
That was for first read.
Okay. All in favor? Okay,
Want to make note that our next policy meeting is April 14th at 6 p.m.
Building and Grounds.
We're gonna meet on Monday at 5 at Mill River. And that's it for that. Since it's not on here, the other thing, we didn't set up a meeting for negotiations, but I think at the next meeting, we can talk about meeting in April or
for
May.
a reorg.
Yeah, for reorg.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get it on the committee report.
Yeah,
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
Do they contact us, or do we contact them, or I forget how that works?
We're just gonna do a reorg and then we'll talk, I think at that meeting, when we do reorg, we'll go over the timeline that we're gonna need to do. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Very good. Community engagement.
So we had a meeting tonight for reorg, but there was not a quorum. So we need to reschedule a new meeting and try again. Carol, when do you think the best time to do that would be?
Well, it's been the second Wednesday of the, before the board meeting, before the second board meeting. So I would say schedule it for that date, for our second board meeting.
Okay, I think that sounds like a good idea. So that'll be before the next board meeting, or the second, not the next one, but the one after that.
Right.
What's the date on that?
15?
April 15. Tax day.
Okay.
Okay.
From 6:30 to 7.
Okay. Superintendent's evaluation ad hoc committee. We had a good response. All the principals that were sent the survey or input form, call a survey, responded. All the central office people responded. 5 board members still have not responded, so it would be helpful just to get your input. If you don't feel like you can answer it, there's a no, I feel like I can't answer this, and you can, just so we know everybody had an opportunity. We are going to meet at 6 o'clock on Monday, March 23rd? March 23rd. And we will begin to review that, the input that we got, and go from there, make a plan. Okay, finance and pay orders. I know they're here somewhere. Would you like to do the honors?
Sure. Okay. Does the board wish to approve the amount of the accounts payable warrant dated 3/18/2026 in the amount of $462,946.46, paying for the general fund, food service, and after-school program?
Do we have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
And a second? Josh? Okay.
I'll second.
Oh, okay, thank you. Discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Could I ask just a question?
Sure.
If we move to consent, because I've read about some boards don't read this at all.
That's correct.
So part of consent would just be, we've gotten
the warrants.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, this would be one of the areas that would move to consent. Okay, good. All in favor? Okay. That's everybody. Okay.
Under student activities, does the board wish to approve payment for Mill River, $1,337.76, $0 from Clarendon, SMS, $309.33, Timoth, $767.06, and Wallingford, $432 even, for a total amount of $2,846.15.
Okay, motion to approve.
So moved.
Rich, and second, Josh. Discussion?
What was that again?
That was the student activities accounts payable warrant.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Good, we're good.
And another payroll warrant dated 3/18/2026 in the amount dated submitted 3/18th, dated March 13th, 2026 in the amount of $680,960.99.
Okay, motion to approve.
Motion.
Josh, second, discussion? Okay. All in favor? Okay. Good. Okay. Transact other legal business. Anybody have anything?
I was just wondering,
Go ahead.
Cheryl, you sent out, I think, a superintendent update. Is that a thing that
It didn't make it onto the agenda,
make-
but
I
it
just-
Wasn't on the agenda,
Yeah.
but I had it, and I thought I would just include it.
Okay.
I'm willing to take questions on it. It's something I want to do to communicate with you guys, and if I don't do it every time, I'm likely to, might not make it the next time. But I can read it to you. I feel like it's just something for you guys to read, and if you have questions, more than happy to respond.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about the superintendent report? That would be another thing that could be included under the consent agenda.
Right.
Unless, if you want her to read it, we can do that as well.
It is a good opportunity to engage with Cheryl, just
Yeah.
as a...
Right, so you got it handy? We have some time, so we're good.
I'd have to look it up.
Maybe this would be more under personnel, but I was just curious, maybe it'd be for you, Cheryl, because we talked about it a little bit in personnel committee, but just the process of the hiring committee for the principal of the
Okay.
MRU.
Yeah, I'd be happy to answer that. So, the process for the hiring committee is I assigned Bjorn to be in charge of the hiring committee. He created they will do round one. The hiring committee includes a board member, which is Ned, thank you, several students, several teachers, a few community members, and is there any other stakeholder I'm missing?
When you say, is it parents or an advisory committee to it, or is it, or a separate?
No, they are on the committee. So they will do the first round, and then their charge is to bring me 2 candidates that they would be happy with either candidate to be chosen. And then the 2 candidates that come forward, or I did say to them, if there's 3 that are really good and you like all of them, then bring them forward by all means. But do not bring forward candidates that you do not see as viable, right? Your job is to bring me solid candidates forward. Once it comes to me, I will invite them for a day to come to Mill River to visit, to talk to teachers, and then they will have a final interview, both candidates, with Jody and I. We will take teacher feedback. There is lots of interest from the teachers, as you can imagine. They want to give feedback on this. And we will take that feedback, and then Jody and I will make the final decision. I will make the final decision, but she and I will interview.
And what's the timeline for making a decision?
So it closed, I think he extended it, but it closed on the 17th or the 18th, and the committee will be meeting next week to come up with questions and for them to gain an understanding, like this is confidential, and then he will set up the interviews. I want to say his goal is to have it to me and Jody the first week of April, and then I would like to do it that following week to have them come visit, interview, and make a decision.
And Sean's contract ends end of fiscal year?
Yes, June 30th.
Len had a question.
Go ahead, Len.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a point that the position is still open. We haven't closed it yet at this point, so it's still open for applicants.
Correct, that's a good point. It originally was going to close, and then he has extended it.
And there are applicants?
Yes.
Thanks for the update.
Oh, thank you. So I don't know if you want me to discuss the report or not. I don't like reading to you guys, but I feel like it's a good way to keep you up to date on the happenings. So we did, Tim has put in the RFPs for paving at the 2 schools. The groundskeeper's position has been posted, and it's my understanding we have at least 1 applicant. And then we're looking at the issuing an RFP for the school, for the athletic field. I also thought, and I'm glad Carol showed this to me, because I really think it's important, because there was a lot of talk at that town meeting that a contractor did not do their job according to specs. I talked to Tim about it after that, and he did say that an inspector signed off on it, and I said, an independent one? And he said, absolutely. So they did comply, and he said they were actually very good and came back and would redo things, but that it was an athletic official who said that the fields were not ready. We're crossing our fingers, but we're committed to making that field ready for our fall.
Is there, there was a hole in the field that got filled back in.
Oh, yes. We did have a sinkhole. That was great.
Is that something that then, like, that has to, I mean, it got signed off on, but then there was, like, a event that occurred afterwards that was definitely due to the work. So is that an avenue to go forward with them? Because I assume, it just looked like, a dirt just got dumped back into the hole. And it's like, is that a problem that is going to happen again? Like, does someone have to come out and look at that again?
Tim will be having someone to come out and look at it. Yeah, that was quite alarming.
Yeah.
To see this big, huge sinkhole in the backfield.
And what caused it?
I'm assuming the water and the snow. I don't know what causes sinkholes. It was large, though.
Springs.
It's probably about as big as like the center, like just like in between these tables. Like it's not like half the field fell in.
No, but it was still.
It was pretty big.
It was the field of all places.
Yeah.
I think it was based around the fact that we just put a bunch of drainage under there and everything like that.
That's what I was wondering. Did our drainage collapse?
The hole wasn't there before the work was done. Like, it hasn't happened before, so.
Right.
Seems causal.
At least related, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens anytime you dig up earth, there's going to be some amount of settlement.
So can't we contact the state?
Regarding.
No, they did it.
And the engineer was from the state.
Oh, the engineer, yeah. I will touch base with Tim, and actually, we can probably discuss it at Buildings and Grounds. When I did write this, we did not have a sinkhole at that moment.
I mean, if they do as well with reorganization and redistricting as they did with the sinkhole, then we're good to go.
Make it bigger, actually.
The other thing I also want to, since I've got the floor, or I think I do.
Yeah, you do.
I do want to give a shout out to Jen at Tinmouth. Look at her face. She had no idea. So we had our first meeting with the AOE representatives, and we're moving forward. We were told today a general idea of funding that would come with it, but she's been working really hard on this data inventory that is going to help us to determine what would be logical next steps in order to, I guess, get us off the list, but it's more than that. It's about seeing our students succeed. So I think she's been doing a lot of work. I did notice, too, she's got her entire staff involved with it, which I think is really positive, too, because then there's ownership. So like I said, while I'm not happy to be in any list, I think we're moving forward in a really positive way. And she's really been working hard.
Good job.
And that's it.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, where am I? Okay, agenda building. So on the next agenda, I want to talk about a retreat, give some ideas of what we can do and get some feedback on those ideas. Let's see, my scraps here. We're gonna, I guess we can follow up on administrative contracts. Maybe we could, Cheryl, you could talk about timelines for the administrative contracts, since there were some questions about that.
At the next meeting.
At the
Okay,
next
yep.
meeting. I'm just,
No, that's good. I was still thinking.
Do we want to review our voting bylaws? Do we think we'll have, like, if we're making any amendments to them?
yeah, I don't think I'm ready to bring that to us yet.
Okay.
That might be a good retreat topic.
Okay.
So voting, and goals would be two topics that I would talk about. No, there was something else, and now I just forgot what it was for the agenda. Oh, so we were supposed to have Coral come and talk about seclusion and restraint, I think is the topic. We postponed it because we thought we had an executive session, and I think Coral's there, yeah. So we're going to put that on for the next agenda, Coral? And
you got it. I will be there.
okay, and then I'm going to talk with Cheryl about having another, I want to try and have a school presentation or committee presentation from the schools every meeting. That's one of the reasons I kind of am thinking about this consent agenda. So instead of spending our time reading numbers, we hear numbers, or we hear about what's going on in our schools. And we haven't had, you know, other than coming to visit like Wallingford or Clarendon, we haven't had a lot of information around instruction and curriculum that I think we all would like to hear about, you know.
Agreed.
You have like grade level groups and subject groups, like your literacy. There's like a literacy committee, right? And a math committee? No? Yes? No? Okay.
There's a curriculum work group, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, something like that.
One of those, yes.
Yeah. So we'd love, are you part of it?
Yes.
We'd
I
love
was as a teacher for many years, and I hate to be off of it, so yes, I'm still part of it.
Okay, well, it'd be nice to have that group come and talk about the types of work that you're doing, so we can, you know, celebrate, just like Addie said. We want to celebrate. Okay, any other agenda items that people would like to see? If you think of something, just email me, we can get it on there. And
yeah, Joe, actually, this is Gray speaking. Can I bring up something as a possible agenda item now?
Certainly.
And first of all, I apologize in advance for this super weird video image. Contrary to the snippy email I received from one board member, we are not on a beach. We're in a really grungy, nasty boatyard. But anyway, I digress. The issue I would like to bring up stems from the discussion we had about the police officers, other than the one that we talked about in the last meeting, but generally speaking, coming to the schools, whether they're in uniform or in plain clothes, bring their weapons. And it seemed to me that we don't actually, and I'm willing to be corrected at any point here, but we don't actually have a policy or guidelines about how we want to deal with that other than what the federal statutes allow. So I have my ideas about it, and others I'm sure have different ideas, but I'd like to see that question formally addressed, and whether that's a full board issue or maybe it should start in policy and then come to the full board. I'm not sure about that, but I wanted to bring it up one way or the other.
Yeah,
so
I think I'm glad you brought that up. I personally think that it would be good to have that discussion in policy, put it on the agenda. Any members, board members who are interested could come to that meeting and then come to the full board with a recommendation or any research that you've done or any information you're able to get. I think that would be the most productive way to do it. But I do think it's a good idea because I had some questions too. I had some thoughts too about it.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe I can reach out directly to Rich then about trying to get that on the agenda when it's, when it's appropriate.
Hey, Rich?
I just need instruction. I just don't know what our rules are for this, and I was just recently elected the chairperson for the policy committee. At the end of our meeting, we had a agenda setting moment. To what degree does that bind the agenda, or no? That just helps guide it, and then anything that comes up then can be added.
Yep, as chair of the committee, you own the agenda.
Thank you.
And then once it's warned.
Then it's set. Okay, thank you.
And it still could be changed before the meeting starts. So, I mean, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of the agenda,
Okay.
you know. Yeah.
So then, we haven't actually warned the next policy committee meeting agenda, have we?
Not yet.
Yes. Yes, we have.
No, it hasn't been warned. It's been posted and shared, but it hasn't been warned yet. I don't think. It's gone.
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Lenny?
Okay, so then this would need to go on the agenda for the next policy meeting, not the one that's coming shortly.
Hasn't been warned yet.
It's April 14th. It hasn't been warned.
We're checking.
It hasn't.
No. It has been. It has been posted.
No, I don't. Well, that's okay. We'll look at it. We'll figure it out. What? What's the matter?
Well, if it's posted, that's posted. I mean, I'm really getting concerned about the way this board is maneuvering around things. If it's posted, it's posted. We can always, when the policy committee meets, we can change the agenda.
Sure.
We can adjust the agenda. But you can't just willy-nilly
So, Lenny,
change things.
legally...
And by the way, Gray, I like your background lighting.
Yeah. Legally, the agenda has to be posted, the agenda, 24 hours in advance. It's
48.
48 hours. It's not posted anyway, Lenny. It's not posted yet.
Lenny, are you thinking of the meetings for Monday coming
What's on
up?
the website for the policy committee? There's something on the website for the policy committee.
Okay.
The invitation.
Not for April.
Yeah, there's nothing for April.
There's nothing.
Okay, then, since we're off the record here.
No, we're on the record. I think when we're talking, you're thinking...
I sent here's the thing. The invite to the personnel committee had a agenda and an access through a website kind of thing. When the agenda was posted, which was the agenda that I sent, that wasn't there. So I think we need to clarify which agenda is the agenda. Is it the warning that's sent out, or is it the agenda that I send out as the chair of the committee?
It's the agenda that you send out as the chair of the committee.
But there's no access on that for folks to access it.
Right. So
online.
then Shawnee takes that. Shawnee takes that and puts the hybrid link onto that.
But it's not. It's not. It wasn't there. You go to the agenda for the personnel committee meeting tonight, and it's not there.
How did Sarah and Gray get on then?
They get invited.
From the invitation?
Well, I know, just to answer your question, Carol, I went to the calendar on my school board Google email and used that link.
Okay, so that's something we'll follow up on.
So did I. You can access it, but it's not on the agenda that's with all of the other materials as well.
Right.
Okay.
So you have to go back.
We will make sure that
we'll
access that.
We will we'll work with Shawnee to get that straightened out.
Absolutely.
It is on, like, the next one is ad hoc. It's there, which is good.
I think I brought that up at the last meeting.
And
anyway,
buildings and
but that's
grounds
okay.
there, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. But 48 hours, right? That's when the agenda has to be published, made public, 48 hours in advance of the meeting.
When I send the agenda out, I do not put on the agenda the Google Meet thing, because I don't know what they are.
Right, that's what Shawnee does.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
48 hours.
it's not on the agenda.
But we will make sure, it is.
Wait. It does not, it was not on the agenda that accompanied the packet for the Personnel Committee meeting.
Tonight. So we will make sure in the future that that doesn't happen again.
Great, thank you.
Current calendar year.
All right.
PDFs.
I think we're done. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Josh.
Second.
Second, vote with your feet.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. We'll see you.